All right, welcome back, you guys, to another Madden 23 Lions franchise video. And we are about a quarter of the way through the season, so I thought what we might do is we might take a look at the stats so far. So Jake Zimmer is now at 8 TDs and 6 picks on 63% completion percentage. Again, we did increase the difficulty a little bit by making the sliders a little bit more challenging. So far I've enjoyed it because we've had more interesting games. And as a result, his accuracy has been hurt a little bit, and that's kind of one of the reasons why he has slightly more picks and less TDs than he normally would. Based off of last season, he was at like a 2-to-1 ratio, like 30 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. So far, it's a little bit more even, which we're trying to reduce. We're trying to get him to like a 4-to-1 ratio, but as a second-year quarterback, that's something that we just got to tweak a little bit and maybe not throw as many dangerous throws. Rushing the football, so we've given the most carries to Hebert. Hebert finally had a good game last week, but he did not get the opportunity to get a lot of carries because we were behind for so much of the game. So right now, Hebert's only at 30 yards per game, and Jackson is at 35 yards per game. Each of them has one rushing touchdown. The thing is, Jackson's gotten a lot less carries, but he's averaging 6 yards per carry. Again, he is not ever going to be our number one at running back. He's kind of just like an all-around player. So that is why Hebert is our kind of our lead back. Receiving wise, Cooper Kupp, 80 receiving yards per game, having a very solid season so far. His most kind of targets and yards so far up through this point of the season. Not the most TDs I've seen through 4 games for him, but he's doing a great job leading the team in receiving. Brian Jackson is at number 2 on 16 receptions, which is a lot. But a lot of those are out of the backfield, and he's making a lot of plays, getting yards after catch. So if you look at his run after catch, he's averaging 9 yards after the catch. So he's averaging 15 yards per catch. So almost all of his yards are like out of the backfield, short little 4-yard dump-offs, 2-yard dump-offs, and then he gets a lot of yards after the catch. Averaging 58 yards and 2 touchdowns so far is great. Posey is at 53 yards and 1 TD. Antoine Andrews getting almost no catches. Only 6 catches so far, but 32 yards per game and 1 touchdown. I don't think he did anything last game. And Jamison had an opportunity to have a couple big catches last game, but it just didn't happen. There was not that connection between Jake Zimmer and Jamison. So he's only at 22 yards per game so far. Only 7 catches. We definitely have to boost that up for him. He is a huge weapon on this team, and he has no touchdowns so far. And Calvin Austin with 1 catch as well for a touchdown. Defensively, leading the team in tackles is Aaron Browning. Christian Harris is at number 2, and then Patrick Surtain. Leading the team in sacks is surprisingly Isaiah Simmons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trey Hendrickson are up there as well. Vasher and Dontrell Parker each have 1. Again, Dontrell is going to be out for 7 weeks now. Patrick Surtain, only 2 picks so far, which is more realistic to what you might expect. Getting about half an interception per game. Christian Harris and Tariq each with 1 still. Forced fumbles is being led by Surtain. Actually, sorry, it can't be led by anybody. Everyone's kind of tied for 1. Got a couple players with 1 fumble. And then defensive touchdowns, Surtain with 2 and Tariq with 1. So I was looking at this team, and I was thinking, what is the thing that we need most on the team? And the couple options are, we need some better O-linemen. We've lost, like Tyron Smith due to trades, and also he was just injured consistently. We've got some young O-linemen that, there could be upgrades at that position. We also have some linebacker spots that could be filled. So Kenneth Murray Jr. leaving the team. Damon Clark has done a decent job as our middle linebacker, number 2, but we could have another linebacker in that spot. Right now, Baron Browning and Christian Harris play a lot in big nickel, and Damon Clark sits out. But when we're in 3-4 and we've got 4 linebackers on the field, Damon Clark has played solid, but we could upgrade. And then again, we still could upgrade at safety by bringing in a third player. We do have a lot of safeties on the team right now. We do have Ryan Neal as a backup. We have Ronnie Harrison as a backup. We got Josh Jones as a backup, and Pat Hopkins. Our starting safeties right now are Nathan Walls, who was a linebacker, and then we got Isaiah Simmons. So the couple players that we were really interested in is Enrique Strickland. The reason we like him so far, and we're not going to get too deep into this, is he's got very high hit power and high man coverage. He's only 5'11", but he's he's big. He's 220 pounds at 5'11", so he's a thick safety, and he's decently athletic from what I remember. And so he is high on our board. We do not see a lot of safeties built like him. He's kind of like an Earl Thomas type of player. So I'm very interested in potentially adding him to the team. We got some good O-linemen. Jermaine Whitefield is another fantastic tight end who could pair well with Quentin Posey in a lot of 2 tight end sets. But drafting another first-round tight end doesn't seem realistic for us. He would be a great fit. He is a fantastic run blocker, and he's probably faster than Posey as well. He might have like 92 speed. He's that fast. Doug Solomon is a fantastic linebacker, very high coverage skills. Philip Combs also has coverage skills, and they're both very fast. They're both elite in terms of speed and excel. But, Solomon is 6'2", and Philip Combs is 5'11". Kevin Shields is another player that is great in coverage, very fast. Sean Adkins is a free safety that's 6'3", looks decently fast. Might be a player that you could convert to linebacker, but again, he is a first to second round pick, so we're probably not going to do that. And there's a couple other players around that we were looking at that we also added to our draft board that are later round picks, like some linebackers. That could potentially be good, but we're just not really sure. We haven't really seen enough. Their physicals are decent, or like some of their stats are decent, like Neil Kelsey, 6'3". He's got high block shed, he's got high tackling, but he's not the most athletic. So those are sort of the prospects we're kind of looking at right now. We're looking at linebackers, we're looking at safeties, we're looking at offensive linemen. And another thing is a bunch of my practice squad players were signed to 2 different teams, which is great. They're on active rosters now, but Jacoby Durant, who's been on the team for a couple seasons now, was added to the Bengals roster. So Bengals, again, stealing some of our players. Ty Gaffney, an important linebacker that we liked, who's only a 57 overall, was added to the Niners active roster. And we have a couple other players too, like Darrell Graham, who was on the team, only 22 years old, that we had drafted this season. He was poached by the Commanders, which is unfortunate to see. But, it is what it is. When they're on the practice squad, that can happen. But we're going to go ahead and get into this Vikings game. All right, before we get into the game, the big thing to look at is what is the biggest change for this team. The thing that's interesting is Derek Carr is now on the Vikings. He was on the Packers last season and played really well for them. But it's interesting to see he already moved over to the Vikings, and now he's their backup QB behind Gabriel Whitlock, the rookie quarterback, who is not all that fast. He's more of a pocket QB, but he's 6'4". He was drafted in the first round in the top 10, I believe. And so the future franchise quarterback for the Vikings, without a doubt, after Matthew Stafford has departed. Again, this team has a lot of the same players as they've had in the past with Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Alvin Kamara. They have Mason Burton, who's a second-year tight end, at 78 overall, looks very solid, 85 speed. Their O-line is looking really, really solid. Actually, their left tackle and right tackle are straight off of the Seahawks with Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, but their interior O-line is fantastic. They have Nick Martinez, a second-year left end, who's 23 years old. They also still have Nick Bosa. They got Greg Ricci, who's also another top pick because the Vikings have been so bad in our first 2 seasons. 77 overall, only 22 years old. Kenny Westbrook, who's a 74 overall, 22-year-old. They got Dre Greenlaw still, Marcus Peters. Their corner spot could be better. Kirby Joseph at free safety, who's fantastic, and Harrison Smith. So this team is built for the future, and they've got a lot of young talent starting on this roster, and they are tied with us right now at 2-2, and I feel like our teams are relatively similar in terms of kind of development and how they're kind of structured right now with some veterans on the team still. And Jake Zimmer coming out onto the field after not having a fantastic game, 1 TD and 1 pick in our game against the Niners in what was definitely a letdown. Losing to an 0-3 team when we were 2-1, taking us back to an even record, is the worst thing that could have possibly happened for us. I don't want to put too much pressure on the team, but it really was, in my eyes, an unacceptable loss, and it was no one's fault in particular, although the defense did not play super well. Brian Jackson on the first carry of the game, almost picking up the first, to be second in inches, a fantastic first run for us. And one thing I've noticed is after Brian Jackson's upgrade, now he's a 78 overall, he has usurped Hebert's role in the starting lineup, but we're going to make sure to still get Hebert plenty of carries. Jameson here on the jet sweep, picking up that first down finally. But Yeah, we're going to make sure to get Lionel Hibbert plenty of carries. Again, he is our #1 pure running back on the team. Jackson is a fantastic player that he just right now does not have like the injury rating or the carrying that I need for him to be the starting running back. Like, could it happen in the future? Yes, it could, but not right now. Quentin Posey with a great catch, trying to fight off Harrison Smith, going up to the 49. And it looks like Ramondre will not be available for this game. He is out with an injury, which is fine. He got some run last game. Hebert with the carry, picking up a couple yards. Now only 3 yards off of 2 carries. Not great. 2nd and 7. We're going to be passing here. Got Juwan Johnson underneath. Almost picking up the first. It's going to be 3rd and short. The thing that was most frustrating about the game, though, was that we played very well and pretty conservatively with Jake Zimmer, but still we were not rewarded in the turnover battle. Jake taking a sack here on the 42, which is unfortunate, from Nick Martinez, the young defensive end. And that is going to make us have to punt. But yeah, Jake had a very solid game, but just didn't get rewarded for it. Having a lot of uncharacteristic, inaccurate passes. I guess you could say that those are bad plays by him, but really, they were wide open receivers. He just missed those throws, and they said they were, accurate passes. That's the thing that was most frustrating, is they were saying the balls were accurate, but then they would miss the target, and they ended up either being a pick, or they ended up just being incomplete and taking us off the field. A short out here to the tight end. It's a fumble, and we miss it. Finally, it's picked up by Tariq, and Tariq gets tackled by Mecole Harbin down at the 5. A huge fumble forced. This might come back, though. And it's not going to come back. Okay, so we're going to keep it here. We got Brian Jackson in the backfield, and we're going to actually audible this out to a pass play. We're going to try to send Brian Jackson out wide if we can, and we can't for some reason. I don't know why. We're going to run it up the middle with him. We got great blocks. Jackson gets into the end zone for the touchdown. A great run. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it in there or not, but Brian Jackson has been a spark plug on offense when he's been inserted into the lineup, doing everything we could possibly ask for. But yeah, a surprising fumble from Burton, their young tight end. Getting hit on the first play and fumbling. Very interesting. Oh, and it's play action. We bit on it super hard, and we went down. I thought for sure it was a run play. They picked up the first down. It is embarrassing when you've played competitive Madden in the past to get fooled by the computer on a play action. And here they are running with Kamara. Kamara's going down after picking up 8 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 2 now. Now 2nd and 2. And that, when I played competitive Madden, that was like back in Madden 17. That was a long time ago. Kamara on the run. He does not pick up the first. It's going to be 3rd and 1. On 3rd and 1, they're in a single back set again here. We got Kamara in the backfield, and we're worried about the run for sure from Kamara again. And it's play action again from Kamara, or from Whitlock. A nice throw by Whitlock, though. 3 for 3 now. Probably the scariest thing about how our defense is playing is that we are playing a lot of really young quarterbacks, and we're not making them make mistakes. Whitlock is very young. Hearns was very young when we were playing. A lot of play action again here, throwing underneath the Kamara. A good hit by Simmons. Our defense has only gotten stops in the last 2 games so far that have been off of fumbles, off of completed passes. They have not been getting interceptions in the last 2 games. Nathan Walls trying to get down here. Oh, and almost another fumble, 3rd and 3. Kind of fill in those gaps. So 3rd and 3 situation. We're in cover 1 right now. But we got to make these young quarterbacks make mistakes. We got to make them fear us a little bit. Another play action here. We're watching over the top. Nothing is open right now. Oh, and we get... Oh, Ronnie Harrison could not get there. And they pick up the first down to their backup tight end. I thought we had everything covered there, but Whitlock just had so much time. Our D-line is not getting pressure right now. I think that might be part of the problem. They're just getting so much time to eventually pick apart this defense. Oh, it's a reverse to Kamara, and Surtain misses the tackle. Simmons, though, is there finally. Now it's going to be 2nd and 3. They're in single back again here. Bringing everybody up on the line. We got Walls playing down and run support a little bit as well. Walls with a nice tackle. Big hit. And it is great to have a three-dimensional player like Walls who can be a linebacker, a safety, or a corner on the team. Able to make those key tackles on running downs. Probably the biggest disappointment on defense so far, though, is that Sean Hazelwood our DN, edge rusher, has done, made almost no impact on this team defensively. I've not seen him make a lot of plays. We get a sack, though, from Sean Hazelwood as I'm talking about him. He finally makes a play, and he gets us our first stop, keeping them from scoring in the red zone. Finally, we get a stop on defense and force a field goal. A huge sack by Sean Hazelwood, his first of his career. And hopefully this will be a great season for him going forward. I've been talking a lot about him and how he has not played super well or exceeded expectations, but that was a fantastic play, and I hope that continues going forward. Brian Jackson on the return, trying to follow our blockers, and we get the edge, and no one's going to get to him. Brian Jackson with another huge play, already with one rushing touchdown, and he's taking this kick return back for another TD. Already, I think, up to like 6 touchdowns on the season, doing it all in the receiving game, the running game, and special teams. And we may have a one-of-a-kind special talent on our team in Brian Jackson, and I wasn't super sold on him at the time. When I initially drafted him, he was a wide receiver, and I wasn't sure if he'd be able to make the transition to running back. But not only has he made the transition to running back, he has excelled in every aspect of the game for us so far. As a receiver, as a runner, and in special teams, he has been, fantastic. And then his first kick return touchdown coming in his rookie season is what I love to see. Whitlock with another great pass here, making it 1st and 10. Still 7 for 7 is Whitlock. Hoping to get more pressure here with Hazelwood if possible. 1st and 10 now. We're in cover 3. They're in single back again. And they're running it with Kamara, but we get blocked to the ground. Wow, Walls finally with the tackle. To be 2nd and 2. Kamara getting a lot of carries so far. This has been the closest we've played against the Vikings. Finally, now that Stafford is off the team. Another run here by Kamara, and we got Christian Harris and Walls filling the gap. It's going to be 3rd and inches. We're going to be playing underneath. Again, we got to watch out for Mecole's speed and Alan Lazard as well. We got everything covered underneath. Whitlock just throwing it out of bounds, and we get another stop on defense, and they're going to punt it here from the 44. This is definitely a situation where they should be going for it. On 4th and inches from the 44 on our side of the field, makes no sense to be going for a punt here, but we're going to try to forget that one. Again, this is absolutely a game we have to win against a divisional opponent who has the same record as us, not only because we need to get back in the win column, great blocks here, but also because we need to continue to dominate this team mentally. We don't want to give them the upper hand winning the first game, winning the first matchup between the two of us of the season, especially with how good their team is. I remember in Season 1, I thought their team was really bad, but now they have built a fantastic team full of a bunch of really young, players, and their veterans are very solid as well. And so this is definitely a team that I'm worried about in the future. 1st and 10 from the 35. On the run, Hebert cannot get anything going, and we're not going to pick up any yards. We're going to actually lose 2. 2nd and 12, running a little mesh. We got Jamison open underneath, able to actually get the completion to him this time. And he holds on to it. Jake Zimmer, 6 for 6 so far, doing a great job. On 1st and 10 from the 49, we're going to let Hebert get a carry here in strong. A little off tackle here. Got great blocks, cutting it back inside, doing a great job, almost picking up the first. On 2nd and 1, this is a great time to take a shot and run a little play action. We've got time. We got Cooper open. It's a bad ball, though, by Jake Zimmer, throwing it behind his receiver. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 1 now. He had Cooper open on the crosser, but it was just a really inaccurate pass that could have been picked off. Nick Bosa breaking off the block. It's going to be 4th and 1 now from the 42. Unlike the Vikings from the 44, at the 42, we are going for this. We got Jackson in the backfield in I form. We're going to bring Jamison over to the left side. It looks like it's man coverage. They just got Harrison Smith on the edge, and we're running a toss play. And we don't get great blocks. Jackson trying to fight for it, and we don't get it. We trusted our run game to pick up that 1st down, and, we had the matchup we wanted. We had an outside run with Brian Jackson, who's very fast, with, the edge being, getting the completion almost. We forced him out of bounds, I think. Okay, it's going to be an incompletion. We had the matchup we wanted. We had Harrison Smith on the outside, who's very slow at this point, and we still could not get to the edge. Didn't get great blocks, I guess, on that play either. Kamara open underneath. David Clark getting down there with Christian Harris. It's going to be 3rd and 5. They're going no huddle. They're in the gun again. Trying to get some pressure. Dropping down. Oh, it's zone, though, and I was hoping that Christian Harris would stay with Burton. But instead, Burton down to the 29. Doing a little bit of a cover 1 sort of blitz here. Watching the slants, but Simmons does get beat by Lazard. All right, it's going to be 2nd and inches. We got Whitlock in the gun again, and we're worried about things underneath. It's going to be halfback screen, though. Baron Browning missing the tackle. Tariq getting blocked, and Kamara gets in off of the halfback screen for the touchdown. Not great block shedding, and not great tackling in that situation. And they score a touchdown to make it a 4-point game and a 1-possession game with 50 seconds left. We do still have all 3 timeouts. But last time we got burned going for it to the end of the half and getting an interception that resulted in a touchdown for the Niners. So we cannot be too aggressive here. We need to stay in our own lane, be relatively conservative, not force anything downfield, because we've seen right now that Jake Zimmer is having some kind of bad passes. Oh my God, Brian Jackson almost broke another one up to the 28. On 1st and 10, and I did say that we're not going to go for it, but we got Brian Jackson matched up, I think, right now with Harrison Smith potentially. And if this stays true, we are going to go ahead and take this shot with Brian Jackson on the right side. Got it one-on-one. It looks like it's an accurate pass. Brian Jackson with the catch. Yeah, we got the man coverage matchup we wanted with Brian Jackson. And it ended up working out. 1st and 10 now. Yeah, Jackson open underneath. Trying to get him that 1 receiving touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, and trying to give him that 1 receiving touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, and 1 kick return touchdown. But instead, Jackson just takes it in for another rushing touchdown score and having himself an amazing game. All 3 of our touchdowns at this point. Regaining that 2-possession lead before half in all phases of the game so far have been absolutely excellent. And so we have 14 seconds left. We're going to bring a man blitz here. That's a little too aggressive. We're going to go into cover 2-man. And, you know, Jackson has just been like our Tony Pollard of this team. Getting a tackle there as Walls. They're calling a timeout. Yeah, Brian Jackson has absolutely been the Tony Pollard of this team, being, again, just electric when he comes in and subs in different positions like on the field. A tackle there by Baron Browning. 5 seconds left. They call another timeout. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 38. And they're probably going to take a shot here with 5 seconds remaining. I'm going to bring pressure with Christian Harris off the edge. And we almost get to him. And we eventually force the incompletion. And Whitlock finishes the first half 12 for 15, 150-plus passing yards, and a TD. With Brian Jackson having such a fantastic first half, it has left Jake Zimmer with 0 TDs in the half. Again, like, we want to continue to upgrade. You know, I guess we don't need to force it. Oh, underneath, Surtain with the pick. Playing Nicole's route perfectly. Getting a turnover finally on Whitlock. Our first career turnover forced against him. But yeah, obviously we want to score some TDs with Jake Zimmer, but we don't need to be forcing it. You know, if the offense has no turnovers, then that's still fantastic. Juszczyk underneath with a nice catch. An unusual target by Jake Zimmer to Juszczyk. 1st and 10 now. Again with Jackson in the backfield. I think all eyes are on him right now with all 3 touchdowns for us. And underneath we have Posey, but we take the sack instead from Martinez, who now has 2 sacks. That does not really change much for us. We're going to run it here with Hebert. Follow our blocks. Going up the middle. Almost got even more, but we take it down to the 11. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 now. Definite passing down situation. And Jameson could be open over the middle. Send Posey over the middle as well. And we get pressured immediately by Bosa and take the sack again. And we're going to have to just stay with a field goal here. All right, 1st and 10. We're sending Hazelwood on a blitz. Instead, Kamara is going to be running the football. And Walls is there eventually to make the tackle. It's going to be 2nd and inches now. We've already forced 1 turnover on Whitlock, which is what we love to see. Hopefully we're getting a little bit of pressure on him now. We're getting into his head a little bit. 2nd and inches now. Short out. 2 short outs. And finally it goes to Lazard. And Whitlock actually having worse game than Hearns did against us with the Niners. But it does seem like Hearns has less weapons. Short out again. Hazelwood there for the tackle, though, on their tight end. It's going to be 2nd and 2 now. 2nd and 2, we're in cover 1. They're running it. Oh, it's play action. We're watching over the middle. He doesn't have anybody. Can we get the sack? Instead, he throws it away. I think we almost got the sack again there with Hazelwood. Instead, he throws it away. It's going to be 3rd and 2. We're going to do contain again here. We're playing underneath. We got that covered. Hazelwood trying to get a hit. Instead, he gets thrown off. I'm very surprised Hazelwood did not make a play there and like just get at least a big hit. I know he doesn't have very high hit power. That's just kind of surprising. A run play here for Kamara, and making the play is Damon Clark. Damon Clark, a fantastic run support linebacker, and he's again excelled, I think, in his role when we've been playing base 3-4 coverage. Watching over the middle, nothing's really there. One-on-one shot, back right corner. Surtain picks it off, but it's going to be out of bounds. And now it's going to be 3rd and 10. We're dropping into cover 3, but I think they're going to try to exploit it. We're going to stay in it anyways. Actually, we're going to drop into cover 1. 3rd and 10 now. We're watching the short outs. Oh, but they got the post. The post is open. Whitlock trying to make a play one-on-one. Clark's got a one-on-one, and he gets mossed by Lazard. Clark had no idea where the ball was. Again, in a bad situation, one-on-one with a wide receiver, but he could have made a play on it. He is 6'3", but yeah, no. Watch this play again here. Whitlock throwing off his back foot, just an absolute dot. But yeah, he had no idea where the ball was. And so with that touchdown, it is a one-possession game again. Jackson on the return already made magic happen one time on a return. Almost got another huge hole to run through. Down at the 22 though, and Jake Zimmer comes back onto the field. 1st and 10 now. Bosa is in X factor, so we want to get the ball out quickly. We got Jamison wide open on the RPO. A great little play there. Dangerous sometimes because you have to throw it very quickly. If you don't throw it, you're probably going to get an illegal man downfield. We got the option underneath, but we don't want it. We want Jamison. Jamison with a great catch down to the 30. Beating his Lions teammate Kirby Joseph on the play. Jake now in X Factor again, running it with Lionel Hebert. Trying to follow our blocks. Hebert able to break one, but eventually gets gang tackled. Gonna try to run it here. They got a lot of people right at the line. If we can get past it, we can get big yards, and we do. Down to the 14. 1st and 10. Jake Zimmer still in X Factor. Now we got Juszczyk and Jackson in the backfield. And they're playing man coverage, and we're just gonna go ahead and toss this one away. Had nothing really there. 2nd and 10 now. We're gonna run a little shovel option, which is unusual for us. And that ends up not working out. It's 3rd and 10 now. We're going to go ahead and audible into strong, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring Jackson out of the backfield, put him on a long in, and put Posey on a drag, and Austin on a go. And we should be able to get him open. It gets picked off by Harrison Smith, though. We did not put enough air under it. Harrison Smith with the spin move. Bad ball by Jake Zimmer. I mean, truly, that was a bad play by me. I saw him underneath. I thought we could throw it past him. Jackson would have been open. We need to be a little bit more patient, either throw it a second later or just throw it as a high point pass instead. We were kind of like staring down Jackson the whole way anyways. A great play by Harrison Smith, making us pay in the red zone. 1st and 10, they're in the gun. Got Burton out there with Lazard and Palmer. Dropping back into coverage. Nothing's really open. Watching underneath. But I don't know why Clark was not playing coverage on Lazard there. Just standing still. You know, when you're in zone, you don't have to just play hard zone. You can go and cover somebody. 1st and 10 now. We're going to send Hazelwood again on a blitz from the right side. We're going to drop back into coverage with Harris. We're watching the short outs. And they throw it again outside to Palmer. All right, here we go. We've kind of sputtered on offense so far, only getting 3 points in the second half, but our defense needs to get a stop here. Kamara not going down easily. Breaks a tackle from Vasher. Eventually goes down 3rd and 1 in single back. A different running situation here. Got to watch for the play action, though, as well. Bringing Simmons on a blitz. And it's a run by Kamara. Kamara looks like he might have picked up the first, and he does. 1st and 10, cover 2. We got Kamara running the football. Christian Harris with a nice tackle. It's going to be 2nd and 8 from the 47. They're in the gun. Got Got to watch out for where Hardman and Burton is on the field. Again, they're just kind of picking apart our zone coverage a little bit. Oh, a big tackle there by Simmons on Kamara. 3rd and 7 now. They're looking for a lot of checkdowns, it seems like, right now. And we're going to go drop into cover 2 man and just play over the top. Burton not getting open, but Woolen getting beaten by Mecole. And we got to get them off the field. They're looking to tie it here. Trying to get a stop in the red zone. From the 31, we're watching these short little plays here. They throw it out to the flat. Lazard with the catch. Again, just kind of getting chunked, like, small little chunks over and over again. So I like playing in man a little bit against this team. Burton getting bumped off his route a little bit, but Wall's getting beaten by Palmer. Make it 1st and goal from the 4. And they just consistently have somebody open. It's hard to stop this offense when it seems like they're just, finding people all over the field. Wall's dropping back in coverage. We're watching this out route. Can we get pressure? Hazelwood with another sack. 2nd sack of the game. I'm feeling so good for Hazelwood finally making an impact for this team. 2nd and goal now. Let's continue to bring pressure. Cover 4. Browning dropping back into coverage. We're watching deep middle. We're watching over the top. We're watching short. Can someone get there? Trey Hendrickson with the sack. 3rd and goal now. And now it is 3rd and goal. And we're going to get out of this. We should not be playing this. Okay, so dropping back. 3rd and goal in cover 3. Throwing it over the top. Tariq with an easy interception. And we might have some good blocks here. Blocking Kamara. It's all O-linemen. Can Tariq get the edge? No one's going to get to him. Tariq is taking this one for the pick 6. A huge mistake by Whitlock, as there was no one else to make the play on the ball. He threw it up early into a double team. Tariq making the Vikings pay, and we take a 2-possession lead again when they were down and able to almost make it, a 4-point game if they just took the field goal instead. But a crucial mistake from the Vikings. Unfortunately, what I come back to now is, still on offense, Jake Zimmer has 8 touchdowns now and 7 picks, and that's what I'm most worried about, kind of rectifying, but I cannot help but be happy for the rest of the team playing so well, the defense and also the running game, and Brian Jackson in particular, and Hazelwood having his best game of his young career so far. 1st and 10. And the gun, halfback screen, and I think that was Vasher that was all over it. Vasher doing a great job with great play recognition, noticing that it's a halfback screen immediately, and I was not worried about it at all. Watching the short little outs here. Another halfback screen, read by Clark. Simmons there, finally able to make the tackle at the 28. 3rd and 7, having, I feel great about how this defense is playing. We got full momentum, but everyone is swarming to the ball. Wall's dropping in coverage here on 3rd and 7, still just running cover 3. They haven't shown they've been able to beat it. One-on-one, Woolen almost gets another interception. Instead, they are going to be going for it on 4th and 7. I expect some sort of curl flats combination, and we're just going to play over the top. We're watching over the top. Simmons is there to shove him out of bounds, and Palmer can't get it. Quinn Meaners coming out with an injury, and we're going to get the ball back here. We're going to be able to just possibly just run this ball out. We're going to let Brian Jackson run this one here on the first play. Get great blocks, bringing a couple tackles, taking it up to the 25. All right, 2nd and 7, 2 minutes remaining. We're going to flip the play. We're going to run a little QB power with Jake Zimmer. And if we see any contact, we're just going to slide it out. And send Jamison on the fake jet sweep. He's going to act as a blocker for us. Great block by him. Jake Zimmer picking up the 1st down. Great job. And they're going to use their first timeout. Great run by Jake Zimmer. Again, not having a fantastic game. No touchdowns, 1 pick, but he's managed the game very effectively. Nick Bosa kind of biting there. Harrison Smith trying to tackle Jake Zimmer down, but not fumbling the ball, doing a great job securing the football with 2 hands was Jake Zimmer on the play. Now on 2nd and 7, they have only 1 more timeout remaining. You do have the opportunity to kind of go for something a little bit crazy here. And it looks like it might be zone coverage. Brian Jackson was open. Jake Zimmer trying to scramble. It's going to be 3rd and 5. On 3rd and 5, we're going to do a little fake jet sweep play action here. And we got Brian Jackson underneath. He turned up field. He cannot pick up the 1st. Greg Ricci coming down with an injury, the young 1st-round pick for the Vikings. And instead, we're going to burn a little clock. And just to make this, go, oh, well, I guess it's an injury timeout, so we're just going to take the field goal, take a 3-possession lead. Tariq with another pick. This game is already in hand. Tariq trying to return this one, though. Walls don't want to take an injury. Just go out of bounds at the 42. We're just going to kneel this one out. With a solid W against the Vikings, who, again, were, tied with us at 2-2 in the division. But we come in here, at home and dominate the Vikings. Again, we're going to have to play them again later, but cannot be upset with how the rest of our team played besides Jake Zimmer in this game. All right, and that is going to be the game. Don't need to snap it another time. We win the game 34-17. Thank you guys so much for your support up to this point. If you guys liked this game, or you guys like any particular player on the team, make sure to drop a comment of who your favorite player is for the Lions, whether it is a current player or it's a player that we've drafted. So far, I think my favorite player might be Brian Jackson, and I'm trying to make sure to involve the rest of the team still, but he has just been absolutely fantastic for us. Jake Zimmer, only 16 pass attempts, almost 200 yards, 75% completion is very solid. Ended up having that one interception, unfortunately, that hurt his grade, and is making his TD to interception ratio more 1-to-1. Whitlock also with 3 picks in this game. We did a fantastic job against the first round top 10 pick from the Vikings versus our previous game against Hearns, who Hearns had a perfect passer rating. Whitlock definitely struggled against us. And I think a lot of it was because we got pressure on him finally. Kamara, 12 carries, 40 yards. Heber getting 9 carries for 40. Jackson with 5 carries only, but getting 2 TDs, having a fantastic game on the ground. Receiving-wise, Jamison leading the team, 6 catches for 86 yards. No TDs, though. Jackson, on the other hand, 3 catches for 70 yards. If we could have gotten him a receiving touchdown, we could have gotten the trifecta, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, and then 1 kick return touchdown. Unfortunately, we only got 1 kick return touchdown and 2 rushing TDs. Posey with only 1 catch. Again, very surprising. Only 1 catch for 19 yards. You got to make sure to continue to get him involved in the receiving game, but he's been a fantastic blocker for us in those downs as a run blocker and a pass blocker. Isaiah Simmons leading the way in tackles for us, and then sacks. Sean Hazelwood having his breakout performance. The rookie out of Clemson, 2 sacks. Trey Hendrickson with 1 sack as well. Tariq with 2 picks, and Surtain with 1 pick as well. And then Nathan Walls with a forced fumble and defensive touchdown. Tariq had that 1 pick 6. After the game, I'm excited to see who got upgrades, and surprisingly, Sean Hazelwood did not get an upgrade, but Lionel Hebert does. We're going to boost his power back a little bit more, and that is going to upgrade his ball carrier vision, his break tackle, and his awareness. He's up to a 78 overall. Quentin Posey getting an upgrade, officially getting him up to an 80 overall, which I'm very excited about. Despite the fact that he only had 1 catch in this game, he does get a bunch of really important upgrades to his pass blocking, his route running, his excel, and so now he's up to 88 speed and 89 excel. His route running and his blocking are fantastic. Surtain now officially at a 99 overall. Decided to just boost that up anyways. It's going to probably just boost his zone. Actually, it boosts his tackle, his zone, and his speed, which I do love to see. So he's now up to 95 speed, 98. All of his stats are crazy across the board, I can't lie. His catching is also very high for a corner. All right, we are at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We beat the Vikings 34-17 behind a great performance from Brian Jackson and Sean Hazelwood, our 2 rookies. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like. Next week, we're going to be playing against the Falcons. That'll be a very interesting game. We've played them before. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.